Hello and welcome to another video by me, Charles10. Today we're going to be talking about E3 2016 and the press conferences that happened. This is my third time at trying to record this video. First time the audio is messed up, second time the phone went off, so now I'm trying to record it again. Right, so I'll start off with EA Plays. Now, this event for me was probably the worst out of all of them. There wasn't much going on. So yeah, let's just talk about what they had. There was Battlefield 1, which looked pretty good. I'm interested in it. But yeah, it was good gameplay. Seemed pretty fun, although didn't watch too much of the gameplay because they had some really annoying celebrities playing it, like Zac Efron and Snoop Dogg, who I personally didn't want to watch playing a video game. Leave that to actual gamers. So basically, they also showed Titanfall 2, which I'm looking forward to because it's coming to PS4. Woohoo! I played a bit of the first one on PC and quite enjoyed it. So we'll see. It looks a bit better. It's got grappling hooks and stuff. But the problem is with it, it's releasing around 2 days between Battlefield 1 and stuff. So they're very close together, but they're released by EA, so they should have spread them out, in my opinion. But, you know, can't change that now. Also, what's happening with EA at the moment is they're doing, for FIFA 17, they're doing a career mode, or the Journey, I think it's called, where you play as this black guy, I don't know, about 18 or something, and he's just going on a journey to the Premier League or something. I have no clue about football, so don't ask me about that. Doesn't really interest me. May get it, but I never play sports games. They also showed off Madden. You know, Madden. I seriously do not care for sports games unless they're things like SSX or Extreme Sports, all that sort of stuff. That's the only stuff that really interests me. I don't particularly enjoy that many sports games. I don't mind UFC, but that's because that's quite just a fun little game to play. But I'm not a big fan of sports games overall. After that, they showed off some of the Star Wars games that are in the works. Well, I say show, they showed 5 seconds of gameplay and stuff. It was okay. There wasn't much going on with it. They showed some snippets of things, but nothing in the near future. It's all sort of, it's all, 2018. See, I couldn't think of the year because I wanted it to be next year. But anyway, so I'm going to move on now to the Bethesda conference. Again, there wasn't much going on there. There was so the Fallout 4 DLC doesn't really interest me. I'm not a big fan of Fallout 4. It's okay, but the DLC I'm definitely not buying. But I'm sure there's lots of people out there that are buying it and enjoying it. They announced 3 new DLCs, 2 of which are sort of smaller ones, and then they've got the one big story DLC, but not much going on there. And then they also announced a Skyrim remaster, which again does not interest me because I'm not a big fan of Skyrim. It didn't look that great, to be honest. I don't know why people are getting hyped for it, because it just looks like the PC version. Literally, you could get some mods for the PC version for 10 quid, get the game, and then download some free mods and make it look better than that. So it's not the most difficult thing to do. I understand why they've done it, because they had already ported it to next-gen consoles, so they only had to add in some features that they could easily download from mods and things, and then they could just sell it on a disc. It's simple as that. It's easy money for them, basically. They also showed off Dishonored 2, which I'm looking forward to. Quite like the first game, so we'll see what's happening with that. And there was also Prey, which looks quite interesting. An interesting game. It's a reboot or something. They were doing a sequel and then it got cancelled. I really don't know much about it, but I'm going to move on because I've talked about these ones a couple of times, and so I'm getting annoyed about talking about them. So we're going to talk about slightly more interesting ones. Next up, there was Microsoft, which was last night at 5:30 here in the UK. And I must say, it was meh. There wasn't much going on with it. It was all new. Well, I say new. I think the problem is with Microsoft, they stick very, very safe. They do not like to make new IPs or release stuff that is going to sort of change what happens with their stuff. I don't know what that was. Oh, stuff coming in the post, fun times. But it's like they don't like to release new IPs because they know they can make loads of money off stuff they've got. So they showed off Dead Rising 4. They showed off Forza Horizon 3, which is it's just there wasn't much. Final Fantasy 15 was there, and it didn't look that great. I thought it looked worse than previous demos, and even the demo that I've played on PlayStation that was free to download. What else did they show off? Sea of Thieves. Now, me and my friend took the mick out of this quite a bit last year because it didn't look great at all. Seeing this gameplay, it actually looks okay. I might buy it on PC because now Microsoft are doing this thing where they release all their games cross-platform. So no longer do they have console exclusives. They're always going to be on PC now, as far as I know, because all these videos they were showing, it was saying they're coming to PC. So I was a bit disappointed because I wanted a reason to buy an Xbox. I wanted them to think, hey, look, this is why you need an Xbox. This is the game that you need to buy an Xbox for. And there wasn't that there because I have a PC and I can buy these games on there. And so it will work out a lot cheaper for me to just upgrade my graphics card, which I'm going to be doing, get the new AMD card for, I don't know, 170 quid. Or for another 200, I could buy a Xbox One with a load of games for like 400. So it's not looking good for Xbox, in my opinion. Some people are fine with it, which I understand, but I just don't think it's good for them. They also revealed the Xbox One S, which is their slim version of the Xbox One. I actually thought it looked quite nice. It's got 2 terabyte hard drive, which is needed. I've got a 1 terabyte and I've got about 200 gigabytes left in my PS4, so it runs out pretty fast. Especially when you get those download games as well with all the updates and things. I think it also has 4K quality, but I know what definitely has 4K quality, and that's Project Scorpio, which they revealed right at the end, that they said is coming holiday 2017, so Christmas time next year. I don't know what to say, really. I'm not bothered about it. I don't think it's going to be massive. It's going to be one of those things, if you have loads of money, if you have a 4K TV, if you have stereo speakers, if you can afford to get all the stuff, you can buy this. But for the mass market, this is not for them. It's just, I can tell it's going to be too much money for everyone. I'm guessing it's going to be about $600. Considering the prices of 4K TVs and how they've taken off, I don't think they're going to be selling this cheap. So we'll see. It's going to be more than the consoles were when they came out, which was about $400, $450. So we'll see how that works out for them. I'm just trying to think what else they showed at the Xbox conference. There wasn't much that they showed. I'm just going to go on GameSpot's YouTube channel if I can get on there and just see what they've been putting up for the Microsoft conference. Let's go back. This is all the PlayStation stuff, which we will talk about soon. But first we will have a look at all of Microsoft. So they also showed off Tekken 7, which I was very surprised that they had there, because obviously it's well known as a PlayStation game. They usually show off a PlayStation. The guy turned up to the Paris Games Week last year. I remember watching it. And he was there. He's always really weird. That looked quite fun actually. I quite like Tekken. It's quite a fun game. I prefer Tekken to Street Fighter. I'm one of those people. But yeah. So they also showed off Halo Wars 2, which looked quite good. I might get that on PC, not Xbox. They showed off Scalebound, which apparently didn't look to run that well. It was like co-op, and they were saying, "Oh, this is our biggest boss we've ever made," and it was pretty big. But it's like, why would you want to spoil that? But apparently, it doesn't run very well, from what people have said from playing the game as well. So we'll see how that holds up on Xbox. They also showed off State of Decay 2, which I'm quite interested in. I bought State of Decay on Steam for my laptop, but it ran like shit. So I'm gonna have to get it on my PC once that's repaired, and I'll play it on there rather than my laptop, because it's meant to be quite a good game. So I was interested to see State of Decay 2, see what they're doing with that. They also announced custom Xbox controllers, which was quite interesting. Because I think that's quite a good thing to do. They'll make a lot of money off that. The only problem is they've said there's millions of combinations because you can change literally every single button, every single joystick, or the D-pad, the buttons, the shoulder buttons, everything you can change. I have a feeling a lot of the orders are going to get messed up in the process. I have a feeling that's what's going to happen. Is that they're going to mess up these orders because there's so much that can go wrong. There's so many parts to go wrong. They could easily mess it up. They also showed off Inside, which is by the developers of Limbo, which I quite like the look of because I loved Limbo. This looks very good. You're playing as a boy again, but there's a bit of color and stuff. But I really like the look of it. I'm interested to see what's happening with that. They showed off some Division stuff, but I won't talk about that because you can find that anywhere. That's been going on for a while. They showed off Recore for about a minute or two, like a trailer. I'm quite interested to play that because I quite liked the look of that last year. It looks like a quite fun game. It doesn't look amazing. It looks very indie game rather than AAA professional game. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm quite interested. They also showed off Gwent, which yeah, I like Witcher 3 quite a bit. Gwent, I don't play it much in the game, so it's there for people. I think that's about it from Microsoft. As I said, I'm trying to quickly get through it because there is quite a bit they showed off. So yeah, let's move on to Just Dance. Yeah, let's move on to Just Dance because I'm looking at the screen that's showing Just Dance here. So we got the Ubisoft conference, and they started off with a weird dancing thing with dancing pandas and giraffes. But it was yeah, it was an interesting opening considering Microsoft were paying their respects to all the deaths that had happened recently, and then Ubisoft started with this. They did pay their respects, but after they did a really weird dance, and then announced Just Dance 2017. After that, they showed off Ghost Recon Wildlands, which meh. I was looking forward to it last year when I saw it, but this year I don't know. The gameplay looks fun, but I feel like it could be very repetitive. Also, the actual movement just seems a bit doesn't seem fluent. The environment just looks gorgeous. 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 But when you go inside buildings, it just doesn't hold up as well as it does outside. So we'll see what happens with that because that's next year, January, I believe, or February. Yeah, I think it's February. They also showed a For Honor, which I'm quite interested to see. I signed up for the beta, all the samurais and stuff. It seems weird. There's like some kind of weird bad guy that's like, I don't know, making them fight against each other. They also showed off the second thing they showed off in the conference was South Park: The Fractured Butthole. I love that title. It's just so stupid because it just sounds so bad. But it looks so funny. It just takes the mix so much out of superhero movies, and I love superhero movies, but I just understand all the references. It's really funny. I never play Stick of Truth, but luckily, if you pre-order Fractured Butthole, I can't say it without laughing. If you pre-order Fractured Butthole, you get Stick of Truth free to download straight away when you pre-order it. You get a code, so I'm probably going to pre-order that next week. Because I can't at the moment, but I probably will next week and play it on PC probably because I'd rather get it on PC than console. PC Master Race, no. So you got so they showed that off and that was really funny. It just took the mick out of all the other Ubisoft games. They obviously showed off some more Division stuff. And then they showed off Trials of the Blood Dragon, which is a crossover between Trials and Blood Dragon. I don't know how much is in the game because I thought it was a DLC and it's out now. I checked it out and it's a standalone game. It's not a DLC for Trials Fusion. It's about £12, I think. I might buy it at some point. But yeah, I really like Trials Fusion and Trials Evolution back on 360. So we'll see what this is like. It looks quite funny. So yeah. I'm just seeing here. It looks like there was a gameplay demo for South Park: Fractured Butthole. Oh no, there was a thing. I'm just going mad. I'm forgetting that they did talk a lot. Watch Dogs 2 was shown. I'm really looking forward to that now. I thought it looked really good. So I'm interested in that. I'm probably going to pre-order that over the summer. Maybe even the collector's edition. for the season pass and the cool statue and stuff. So we'll see. Grow Up was shown, which is a sequel to Grow Home, which looked quite interesting. I quite liked Grow Home. It was free on PS Plus, so I got to try that out. Also showed off a VR game called Star Trek Bridge Crew, which is all sort of the crew of the Star Trek Enterprise, I presume. I don't know if it's a different one. So yeah, that looked quite fun, but then you need all your friends have to have VR headsets, I suppose. Eagle Flight looked alright when I saw it last year at PlayStation 1. This time the gameplay looks awful. I mean, the gameplay looks alright actually, but it looks pretty bad. The textures are just doesn't look good, unfortunately, because it sounds like quite a fun game. They also showed off... Oh, I've just seen this here. I skipped over this. We Happy Few was shown at the Xbox conference because it's coming to their early access thing. That actually looks quite good. I saw some gameplay last year, and that didn't look good at all, but I think they've improved it quite a bit. That looks quite fun now. So yeah. Let's go back to Ubisoft, though. Steep was the final game they announced. Is a new IP. It's an extreme sports game, which I love because they're the only sports games I really like SSX and things. So I'm looking forward to that. Your wingsuiting and skiing and snowboarding and things. So I'm really looking forward to that. So we'll see what happens with that game. And then that was about it for Ubisoft, I believe. Let's just quickly skim over. No, I think it goes on to Sony now. Right. So basically at Sony, this was my favourite conference for many reasons. They revealed quite a few games, and they also showed off some gameplay for games that I've really been wanting to see. So they opened the show with a orchestra playing a really nice soundtrack, and it sounded very similar to God of War, and it led into some gameplay, and it was God of War. This is not God of War 4, it's just literally called God of War, and I have a feeling it is a reboot. You're a Viking, I think, but it looks like you're Kratos, whether you'll be called that, but it looks like an alternate universe type thing. But they mentioned Valhalla at one point, you can slightly hear it, so it's definitely Vikings. You have an axe and things, but the combat is completely changed. It's no longer hack and slash. It seems quite fun. So I'm quite interested in it because I did not like the combat in God of War. So I'm really interested to see what they do with this game. They also showed off a trailer for The Last Guardian again. Woohoo, it's back again. So they're not ditching it again. And it's got a release date of the 25th of October. So I'm really looking forward to that. Might get that on release, but the problem is there's so much coming out in October. It's going to be hard to decide what I want to get and what I'm going to save. So we'll see about that. Now, there was some VR stuff that was shown off. Not too much because they realized from last year that people found that quite dull because it's not the most interesting thing to watch. They announced what the Star Wars Battlefront experience was, and it's an X-Wing VR mission. So you're in an X-Wing and you're flying around. That looks quite fun. Definitely want to try that out. But as long as it's not expensive or it's free, because I don't want to buy these, because I looked on Amazon earlier and you can pre-order rigs and things now, and they're 50 quid each, and that's not worth it. They need to lower their prices like crazy. Later on, they showed off Days Gone, which is the game. The title was leaked when I believe it was put up for a trademark by Sony, and people thought it might be Last of Us 2 or something. But me, when I saw this game, I thought of that. I didn't think of the title because I completely forgot what it was, but I thought, oh, is this that game that was teased or leaked or whatever? And it's being developed by the guys who did Uncharted Golden Abyss on Vita, and this is sort of a zombie apocalypse game on PS4, and it looks really good. There was a trailer, and then right at the end of the conference they showed gameplay. I don't know why they didn't show it when they were doing the game, but it sort of feels like World War Z at one point, when later on the demo he gets grabbed, his brother or something gets grabbed and he's running away, and literally there's thousands of zombies all climbing on each other trying to chase after you, and it looks awesome. I don't know how the game holds up with all this stuff, but I think it's open world, but I'm not too sure. So I can't wait to see more of that. I presume that'll be 2018, late 2017, something like that, because there was no date for that. Resident Evil 7 was announced in the form of Resident Evil VR. Now, this was a demo, and it was very, very much in the vein of PT. It's in first person. I don't know if the whole game will be, because Resident Evil is usually third person, but it felt very much like PT. And the reason why is because Guillermo, or how you pronounce it, Del Toro, I believe, is working on this game. He was going to work on PT, so I think they've taken that over a bit. It looks quite interesting. I've downloaded the demo on PS4 because the demo came out. I probably won't play it though, because I really don't like horror games. I'll try it out, but yeah, so that looks quite fun. They revealed it as Resident Evil VR, and then it changed and said VII, so it's Resident Evil 7. So hopefully that'll be quite good. I think after that they showed off Death Stranding. Now, this is the new game from Hideo Kojima, and I'm quite looking forward to it. It's got what's his name? Oh, I've forgotten it now. Oh, what is it? Oh, I can't think. Basically, the guy from Walking Dead, who plays Daryl Dixon or whatever. He was gonna be in PT. Is in this game, and he sort of wakes up on a beach, and he's completely naked, and he's got an umbilical cord connected to this baby, and he starts to hug it, and then it disappears, and his hands are covered in like ash or oil or something, and there's like these invisible, like there's these handprints appearing on his leg and going down the beach, but there's no one there. This happened earlier on the beach as well with bigger hands, and he stands up, and where the umbilical cord was, he's got like part of his skin, he's got like a cross in his belly, where it's been stitched together or something. It's quite interesting. And he sort of looks everywhere, and all these sea creatures are all sort of washed up, and there's these 5 people floating in the air, just sort of looking at you, and they fade away, and it just says Death Standing, or Stranding, sorry. So I'm really looking forward to that. It looks quite interesting, but then it's Japanese people for you, so it'll be a bit strange, but you know, I'm looking forward to that. Detroit Become Human was also shown off with some gameplay, and that looked pretty cool. They're really pushing that whatever choices you make, it will affect the game, which is good because Beyond Two Souls didn't really do that too much. I mean, Heavy Rain did it, but not too much. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. There was also for VR, there was Farpoint, which is a first-person shooter game, which is coming out. I don't know how it will work, whether it's on Rails or something. I'm not too sure. Also, PlayStation, also Final Fantasy 15 VR experience was also announced, which looked very, very tacked on. Unless it's free when you buy the game, there's no way I'm buying it, because there's no way I'm playing it if it's just that, because it doesn't look that great. Horizon Zero Dawn was shown off and looked brilliant as ever, except need to know the story really, because you know there's nothing there. There was also a LEGO Star Wars The Force Awakens trailer and a demo. They said the demo is out, so I've downloaded that. I haven't played it yet. I'm quickly going through this because there's some stuff I really want to talk about. They also showed off Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. No one was bothered about that, clearly. And they also showed off Modern Warfare Remastered, just more of the same. It looked okay, but I'm not that bothered about it. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about, I was really excited for when I started hearing it. And basically, it's a Batman VR game coming out. And my God, it will be awesome. You hear Mark Hamill talking, and I was just like, this is awesome. This is going to be really good. And it said Batman Arkham VR. It's being developed by Rocksteady, so I don't know what's going on with it, whether it's going to tie into some game or something. I really don't know whether it's a brand new story or it's just sort of a VR experience. I don't know. So we'll see about that, but it says it's exclusive to PlayStation VR, so they've obviously made some kind of deal with PlayStation. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is probably one of the biggest things in the conference. It was awesome. After the Infinite Warfare reveal, everything went quiet, and then you heard the Crash Bandicoot theme, and the room just started applauding. Was like, "Woo, come on, Crash Bandicoot!" And they were just like, everyone was cheering on. Even I, in my head, I was just like, "Yes, come on, PlayStation have won now." They didn't announce a new game as such, but they announced that they are going to be remaking from the ground up, so completely redoing the first 3 Crash Bandicoot games, so Crash 1, Crash 2, and Crash Warped on PS4. So that'll be awesome. I originally thought they said Crash 1 is coming out in October, but they said Crash will appear for the first time in years in October, but in Skylanders Imaginators. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I might just buy his Skylander figure because Crash Bandicoot's awesome, and if he's got a cool figure, then I might buy it. So that'll be cool to see Crash Bandicoot return after all these years. And hopefully, if that does well, Activision will actually let PlayStation make a brand new game, which would be awesome. They didn't say who's developing it, so I don't know if it's just going to be a small studio just slowly making it over the next couple of years, or if they're going to get Naughty Dog to do it. Hopefully, maybe, because they're not working on anything at the moment. That'd be really good to see, but we'll see about that. Now, the next one was a brand new game that they announced, and probably one of the most awesome. And basically, this was rumored a while ago, and basically, it's the Spider-Man PS4 game. And it looks pretty good. I think it's going to be a movie tie-in, but I'm not sure. Looking at the thumbnail and from watching the trailer, Spider-Man looks like the one from Civil War. His goggles are sort of zoomed in a bit, but they move about sort of like they do in the film. Except his suit is quite different, so I don't know if he's gonna get a new suit again in the Spider-Man film. It's like instead of having his normal logo, it's a massive white glowing logo, which I thought was weird, but it's only on PS4, so I was like, yes, come on. And the rumor that it was being made by Sucker Punch was completely wrong. They were close though. It's Insomniac who do Ratchet and Clank, so you had Sly Cooper, Ratchet and Clank developers. So people at Insomniac were probably yeah, you thought it was Sucker Punch, it's us. But it looks really good. The gameplay actually looks quite similar to Amazing Spider-Man games, the swinging and stuff. But we'll see what that is like. I presume we'll see more at PSX and stuff. But considering the suit looks quite similar to the one in the movie, I presume it's going to come out the same sort of time next year as the movie. It's going to be a movie time, but I don't know why they'd make it exclusive if it was a movie time, so we'll see what's happening there. I don't know what's going to happen with that. They didn't reveal the title, it's just the Spider-Man logo and then hashtag Spider-Man PS4, so see what's happening there. It looked quite nice. I'm trying to think, was there anything else? Really don't think there was. Oh, I can't think now. I'm dumb. I can't think. Oh, I'm so amazed by what they were showing. Yeah, there wasn't anything else, I don't think. So that is it for E3 2016. I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. The reason I haven't done Nintendo is that is tonight, so obviously I have not, that has not been shown yet, and there's not much point because they're just doing Zelda and, whatchamacallit. Yeah, that's the best one, isn't it? Whatchamacallit? Pokemon, whatever it is, Sun and Moon or whatever. So I'll watch a bit of it. I'll watch the Zelda part because I got a Wii U basically for Zelda, so I kind of want to see it. So we'll see what's happening with that, but I'd like